Okay, so I've decided to make a new video, and this is going to be yet another video that goes up on my Facebook writing page and on YouTube, and it's another Eurovision related video. I'm going to be talking about the first semi-final, which occurred on Tuesday at the time of making this video, that is, this past Tuesday, and I'm just going to be giving my opinions on the show as a whole and the qualifiers, and also my brief opinion on tonight's second semi-final. So I've just got the list of countries up on the screen in front of me and some rough notes from Tuesday night. 18 songs, of course. Song 1 was Sweden. This qualified. I don't think anybody was the slightest bit surprised by that. Thought the performance was actually a bit weaker than I expected. Still very slick, vocals are okay, but it seemed to be lacking a bit of power, probably because it opened the show. I think if it had been later on in the running order, it would have felt fresher somehow. Nevertheless, a good performance, and Sweden will do well on Saturday night, but it won't win. Then we have Georgia, Keep the Faith, Tamara Gachachiladze. This wasn't bad at all. I just think having a ballad like this, which lacks a certain something to make it memorable, early on in the running order, means that your chances of qualifying are reduced quite a bit. I don't think anybody really expected Georgia to qualify. I didn't, but it wasn't a bad performance. Nevertheless, Georgia are out. And that's a rare thing. Georgia usually do qualify. Song 3, Australia, Don't Come Easy by Isaiah. This was going well until the final third, when he couldn't quite reach those high notes. In fact, he butchered one part of the song, which I thought was really going to scupper his chances. And it seems to me that in the aftermath of Tuesday's show, a lot of people are now really not liking Australia's entry that much. Certainly it's the weakest song they've ever sent to Eurovision. I think it might finish in the top 10 on Saturday, but it's not going to win, that's for sure. And that's an interesting thing, because 2 weeks ago I thought Australia were dark horses to win this, but not anymore. An okay performance, but he's really got to hit those notes in the final chorus. Song 4, Albania. For me, one of the surprises of the first semi-final. This is World by Lindita. Thought her voice was excellent. She's a beautiful singer. Song's not bad. But again, early on in the running order, and better songs around it, it was going to be forgotten. I think the jury's probably appreciated it though, and it might have only just missed out on qualifying. But no final again for Albania. I'd like to see them send something completely different next year, like a band or a male duo. Just instead of a female soloist with a ballad, something different from Albania would be very nice. Song 5, Belgium. Oh yes, I am so happy this is through. I always knew it was going to qualify. I'm not sure about this whole thing of the qualifiers being revealed in a random order. Because Belgium have been announced last in their semi-final 3 years running. Yes, random order. Yeah, sure. But Blanche, I thought this was a great performance. I really did. A lot of people are still very negative towards it, saying that she's a bit nervous. But the thing is that her hand movements and the way she appears on stage, it does fit in, I think, with the type of song City Lights is. It's not a cheery song by any means. All alone in the danger zone. She's alone on stage. I think people are just confusing emotion with nerves. There's no question she was nervous, and there's no question the performance could have been better. But still, an excellent song. And Belgium so deserved to do well. In fact, that song was doing better in Europe's digital charts than Portugal yesterday, and I'll get on to Portugal in a minute. So you could say the success from semi-final 1 was Belgium, if you're looking at how many people are listening to it after the show. Anyway, song 6, Montenegro. I don't get why people all of a sudden thought that Montenegro were in with a chance. It didn't stand a chance. Slavko Kalezic with Space. Positives from this performance. His voice was actually not that bad. It was colourful, there was energy going, there was a lot of energy to the performance, but too cheesy, too camp, perhaps, too messy. It just, having a song like that in the final would have been okay, but I think everybody would have expected it to do very badly. Montenegro did not qualify, of course. Song 7, Finland. The big surprise, Norma John with Blackbird. Thought the performance was great, very simple, very effective. Lots of Europe's press, interviews online and that sort of things. They believed that Finland were sure qualifiers, but it wasn't to be. And it's a shame, because it was one of the best performances of the night. It was in tune as well. That's something to note. And I had Finland down as a qualifier, but they are not in the Saturday show tomorrow. On Saturday, sorry. Azerbaijan, song 8, Skeletons, Dihaj. This was alright. Vocals didn't seem quite as powerful as they could have been. The staging, I think, still baffles some neutral viewers, but it's a good song with a good beat. I'm not surprised it's through. Song 9, Portugal. It didn't blow me away, but it was really, really classy and very well done. Salvador Sobral, Amar pelos dois. So glad it's in the final, actually, because it's in Portuguese, and it's refreshing in its simplicity. Portugal, I think this will finish in the top 5. I think it's probably the best entry they've ever sent. Lots of people loving it. Is it a winner? Oh, I just don't know. I don't know. It depends on how well Italy do in the jury vote on Saturday. Song 10, Greece. Oh, this has received a lot of criticism, but I'm not surprised it's in the final, because there are so many people loving it. This Is Love by Demi. Thought the performance was okay. Vocals, yeah, she's really shying away from that high note and letting her backing singers do the business for her. It's generic, but that doesn't matter. Generic can get you into the final. And in Greece's case, they are returning to the Saturday show, because last year, of course, they didn't qualify. It's not a bad song, though. It's not a bad song. Song 11, Poland. Kasia Mosh, Flashlight. This, I'm almost certain, only qualified due to the public vote, who I'm sure overrated it like you wouldn't believe. If it wasn't for the Polish diaspora across Europe, this may well not have qualified. Let's be completely honest. I don't remember the song that much, don't remember the performance that much. Apart from the fact she was in a white dress and her voice was pretty good, there is nothing else to this song. And yeah, public votes probably pushed it ahead of Finland, for example. Song 12, Moldova. I didn't think this would qualify. I thought the juries might have hated it, but I think it probably just creeped into one of the qualification spots. Great performance, fun, catchy. I'm happy it's in the final. I just didn't expect it to be there. Sunstroke Project, Hey Mama. Good song. Song 13, Iceland. Well, they're in a bad run of form when it comes to Eurovision. Paper by Svala. Can't fault the performance. It was a bit dull, I think, if you were watching it, listening to it for the first time. But the vocals were good, and the song is actually, it's a really good song. But lack of support. Finland and Sweden might have voted for it, but I'm not sure who else. Might have just missed out on qualifying, but I wouldn't be surprised if it actually came last. Song 14, Czech Republic, My Turn, Martina Barta. My word, wasn't this boring? Always, never going to qualify. Not much else to say about it. I think the Czech Republic need to come back next year with a different approach. maybe even a national final format, actually, and really rope in some of their biggest musicians. Song 15, Cyprus. Yeah, I didn't think this would qualify because I don't find it anything original. This is Gravity by Hovig. But third year in a row, Cyprus are in the final. Yes, I think that's pretty impressive because Cyprus is quite a small country, so they'll be very happy. Vocals were better than I thought they would be, but everything else, yeah, it's very average, I think. I think Cyprus will be completely forgotten on Saturday night. 16, Armenia. Not quite getting the hype with this one, but good performance, good staging. It does build up and become quite catchy, but the first 2 minutes of this song are quite boring in my opinion, but then it does improve. This is Fly With Me by Artsvik. Top 10, yes, but it's not a winner. Song 17, Slovenia. I've said ever since this song was chosen that it was quite underrated, but after seeing it live I can kind of understand now why people don't like it. The verses are very weak, the chorus is better but not great, his voice was okay, but it was never going to qualify, let's be honest. And I think Slovenia, like Iceland, like Albania, a different approach is needed next year. With Slovenia, you could very easily say they just sent the wrong song. Song 18, the final song of this semi-final, Latvia, Triana Park with Line. Yes, it stood out. Yes, it left a lasting impression. I just think the juries maybe found it too clumsy and not that interesting, perhaps. I think the juries probably gravitated towards the intriguing staging of Azerbaijan and the simplicity of Portugal and the quirky, cool element to Belgium over Latvia, which they probably just saw as this really big, colourful mess. And maybe the public didn't vote for it as much as we thought they would. We won't know until the results come out, probably early next week. Anyway, Sweden, Australia, Belgium, Azerbaijan, Portugal, Greece, Poland, Moldova, Cyprus, Armenia are in the final. The big surprise, perhaps the only surprise from this semi-final, Finland not qualifying. Best performance of the night for me, I gave it to Portugal. It was just really nicely done. However, you couldn't hear his voice at times because he tilted his head away from the microphone. So, might need to work on that. Worst performance, Czech Republic for me. I just found it so dull. Quite a few disappointments in terms of staging and all that business. The surprise of the night, I just enjoyed Albania more than I thought I would. Semi-final 2 is tonight. This is a tough one. You can go on my blog to see my opinions in more depth and watch my previous video where I talk about each entry as well. It's a tough semi-final. We could see a few surprises, but I think in terms of sure qualifiers, Romania, Netherlands, Denmark, Bulgaria, Estonia, Israel, that's 6. That leaves 4 slots left. Could be Serbia, but it's not great live. Austria, very charming. Macedonia, fan favourite. Hungary, very traditional, very different. Ireland, a bit of a dark horse, but maybe too slow. Croatia, who knows with that. Norway, very modern. I'm sure that will do well in the public vote. Switzerland, they deserve to be in the final. It's been a few years. Belarus, very catchy. And then, of course, you've got the others who I think we can maybe say won't be making the cut. But who knows? Stranger things have happened in Eurovision. Anyway, I'll be doing a video tomorrow about semi-final 2, talking about the final, because, of course, we will know tomorrow the exact running order. I should say Italy and Portugal have been drawn to perform in the first half. Could that ruin their chances? If you ask me, no. But it's looking good for the UK. Looking good for the UK indeed. And what with the staging of Lucy's performance. I think that we'll either perform last or right at the start of the second half after the brief interval. Moldova might well open the show. So there we are. Feel free to leave comments. I'll probably be making a video reacting to the results this evening and then putting it up on YouTube and Facebook as and when. And let me know what you think about my opinions on semi-final 1 and also who's going to qualify from semi-final 2. For now though, thanks for watching.